We are live.
Tales of the Tower. You know me already, Tandiva, the diva of the family. And welcome back to episode number 17 of Tales from the Towers. I am seated today again with Arnu and Noemsie. Hi, guys.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Excellent.
Always good.
That's great. That's great. I believe we have some great news for the clients in terms of expanding our network. And I heard something about Matamo Mall. What
Yes.
I call tomato.
Tomato.
Yeah, so we filled in all of the documents they needed. We're just waiting for our lovely lady to come back to us on Monday. And then we have a room where we're going to put our cabinets and everything, and then we're going to start from them. And then I think we will be able to help a lot of people around Mkobodzi, Three Copies, JP's Reef. So I think it's a good thing.
It's gonna be a great win for us, definitely.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's best if we start on the western side because we kind of covering the eastern side, Tonga, KwaZulu-Natal, even Masibekele, those areas. But now we can actually cover it's Buffelsfontein, right?
Waffles, yeah.
Koemanskloof, Three Copies, and that section. And what's nice is Open Service coming to the party, and they're opening up fiber pops for us at a reasonable price. In the past, it was very, very expensive, and they're actually seeing the uptake of the fiber now in the area, and that's brilliant news for us. So now we are able to roll out micro pops. In other words, we connect the fiber to a tower, and what's nice is the distances are going to be much shorter. So our clients in Narsen Tonga Block A, at the moment, the link is 37 kilometers. And with fiber, they say you can have three things. You can have speed, stability. What's the third one? Distance. Speed, stability, or distance. And choose two. So Sandy's just swapped around.
I'm
Sandy.
sorry.
So you can have speed, stability, or
Oh, sorry.
distance,
Sorry.
and you must choose two. So if you have distance, you can have either speed or stability. So if you choose stability, your speed's not going to be good, and that's the equation that we're bringing in now to those areas. Is we can have, because it's much closer now, we can have speed and stability for those clients, which is going to make a major difference to them. And yeah, we
There
got
won't be back
the.
downtime.
Yeah, and what's nice is as well now, Noemsie, we can actually use that fiber as a failover link, as a backup link. We can, once if Liquid, any problems with Liquid, like Liquid is doing maintenance this weekend, which I'm kind of stressed about a bit. They said we could have up to 10 hours of downtime. At least now we can fail over to that link, the OpenServe link. So that's the bigger picture plan as well.
Okay. And I believe we're always on this episodes and people don't know much about us. I believe they've heard quite a few things about Niku and Arno, but they don't know Noemsie. They don't know who Tandy is. So Noemsie, tell us about you specifically. Where you went to school, what you did in school, and where you excelled, and also where you went to study on. Okay, maybe I'm asking too many questions at once.
No, it's fine. Well, started in Komatipoort, small town. That's where we still are. They say if you drink a lot of Komati water, you keep on coming back. So I came back. I finished my matric year in 2011. Then went to study for fashion design at TUT. Well, it was great, but unfortunately, I'm not doing that anymore. It's a hobby now. Yeah, and then had a little bit of rough patches when my mom was late, but then after that just got back up and carried on, started working for techCONNECT, started learning more, improving. Like, okay, I just went to school and I studied, it was RTT is like computer, you just know how to type, open a document, stuff like that. But then since I started working at techCONNECT, I want to say I've learned a lot. I can make my own videos, yeah,
Mm.
and do
Yeah,
some
I must say
troubleshooting.
first thing that when I met Noemsie the very first time was it wasn't a CV that convinced me. It was a good CV. It was a little ball of energy that she held on her hip with the name of Adriette, and was the cutest little girl that I've ever seen in my life. I still get like a lump in the throat when I think of her. And she gave me a hug and she asked for ice cream, and I had to oblige her. She was so cute. And then also something that caught my eye was I don't know if it was it like did you get regional colors in swimming or provincial colors? I actually saw that you were good
Uh,
at
Okay, I played a lot of sport, but my favorite was swimming. So I went to swim for Mpumalanga, Musas, and did really good actually. Got like second, third. Thank you for Gerard and Tani Monica who got me through to that. And also they were the ones who took me through school, helping my mom because she was a single parent. So I got Musas.
That's excellent. So when somebody excels at sport, I always see it as a real positive because they know how to endure and how to you know train and stick with something. And to me, that's really something very very important. I just finished that book Shoe Dog by Phil Knight about the Nike story, and funnily enough, he only ever employed athletes in the beginning of his business. And the athletes, for example, one guy was in a wheelchair at a car accident, but these guys just had that thing about them that they wanted to excel. And I've seen that in Noemsie.
It's
And
consistency. You have to wake
no,
up
it's a
5 o'clock in the morning. You're in the swimming pool. After school, you're back in the swimming pool.
mm,
It's something you have to do every day. You don't stop. Just have to keep
mm.
on doing training.
I read an article by the Australian Olympic medalist, the guy with the big feet. I forgot his name. Michael Thorpe, I think his name is. And he had three things on his daily checklist: wake up, get in pool, eat, get in pool, eat. And he wrote that 7 times. Wake up, get in pool, eat, get in pool, eat, get in pool, eat, get in pool, eat, go to sleep. That's all he did. It's all he focused on. And it's interesting. Nobody's ever won any more Olympic medals than him. He's got huge feet. Apparently, he's got like a size 16 foot. He battles he's got flippers for feet. But I think that consistency is what makes him who he is today. Nobody will ever be able to beat all these world records that he has. And you know what, Nooms? I'm so proud of you. Honestly, um, you must admit you were a bit down and out, a single mom when I first met you. It was before COVID, I think, right? And life wasn't easy for a single parent then. You were dealing with a granny, and your mom had passed away, which was hectic for you. I think you guys were very close. And where you've been and where you've come from, and where you today got your license, got your car, hitting the roads. You are, how can I put it, our star athlete. You are Mani Libok in the team. And not a lot of people rate Mani Libok, but trust me, I think he's one of the most underrated players. And you keep doing what you're doing. I'm very proud of you, honestly.
Thank you so much.
You've got
I'm
a you've got a successor. I think Tandi is your apprentice, and I think you're setting a very very good example for her as well.
Oh,
definitely,
thank you. Trying.
definitely. Then I kind of want to reflect on any lesson you might have picked up along the way so far that has stuck with you, something that just stood out, and you're like, "Oh, let this be a lesson to me." I think you're still muted. Yes,
Sorry, I
yes.
couldn't hear you. There was some noise here.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to know any lesson you've achieved so far, or any lesson you've picked up along the way that you feel like, oh, this is a great lesson. This is something that stands out for me.
Okay. One thing is putting yourself around people that are good, people that have good intentions. It's one of the biggest lessons, because if you keep on hanging around people that don't want anything in life, they just want to sit down and not do anything. And the other thing is you learn from the other people. What Nick Arno used to tell me is spend time with rich people or people that like are doing business, so that I can also learn from them. It's not like I want free handouts, like they're giving me here, spoon feeding me, go do this, go do this. No, just to learn from them. So I would say that is one of the things. And the other one is don't give up. Let's say you know that you fell down. There's always dips in a person's life. You have to go down to get back up. So that's one of the other lessons. I did hit the ground once, and having good people around me made me feel better about myself, and also spending time with people that are good made me change myself. So I would say stick to people you know that are good, people that are going to advise you good things. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I think the
And
environment we try to create in techCONNECT, sorry, Tans, is a safe environment, you know. And I always say that if you're in a room full of people, you must be the dumbest person in that room. Then you know you're going to learn. That's really important. I think when people kind of sometimes may misunderstand our culture in the company, but the culture is all about being safe. Everybody must feel safe. To me, that's the most important thing.
And making mistakes so that you can learn out of them.
100%.
Not
definitely the mistake I stand by. I stand by. I remember walking on eggshells and being so afraid of making the slightest mistake and feeling like I'm gonna faint the minute somebody
mm,
realizes my mistake, and
mm,
the world to live in fear of making the tiniest bit of mistake, even if it's something big. Just and it really, I feel it. Such things keep you from actually celebrating your wins. Even if you do
mm-hmm,
good, you end up looking things and you never celebrate anything you do, and you constantly
mm,
just pushing yourself to do good. But when you
mm.
finally do good, you don't even see it because you're so used to
Yeah.
walking and trying to avoid mistakes and all that. So
You know what, sons? Mistakes are just feedback loops. So mistakes are you learn to walk. You 9, 10, 11 months old, and now you're learning to walk, and then you fall. And imagine you just gave up, and we'd have the whole world would be full of people just crawling on the ground, which sounds freaky and crazy. But when you were a kid, you didn't see that as a failure. You saw it as a learning experience, and you stood up and you walked again. You stood up and you walked again. And every time is a feedback loop. Whoops, my balance was down. Let's hold on to something. Let's hold on to a bench or a couch. There's a couch. Let's see if I can walk a meter towards that bed and hold on to the bed. Oh, okay, I've got my balance. So mistakes are feedback loops, which we must make over and over and over again. I must tell the story. Noemsie bought herself a new car, and she had the car. Sorry, Nooms, I'm putting you on the spot. Uh, I think she had a car literally a week, and
four
she
days.
4 days, and she made an accident, and she was in tears. She was like lying like this. Uh, she couldn't believe that she made this accident. I said, it's a mistake, and luckily we've got good insurance in the company on your car. And that's what we have this backup system for. Insurance is we, you know, make mistakes. What am I going to do? You see, you know what? Shout at you and freak out? Nope, it's a mistake. You made a mistake. You learned your lesson. So since then, she's only had 7 more accidents, and she's.
No, no, no. That was my
I'm
first and
joking.
my last. I got a shiner for it. So no, thank you.
No, shame. No, we need to make mistakes. It's the only way we learn, honestly.
Tandy, we just spoke about Noemsie. Where did Tandy go to school? What does she do?
Mm,
oh,
mm,
I went to quite a handful of schools, but I started my foundation, which I'm forever grateful for my mother for actually thinking about this and being like, oh, I'm going to put my child there. Because people look at me and they're like, she thinks she's better than everyone. But when I really sit and I think and I can imagine myself sitting in a group of people and I can articulate myself properly and I can socialize even in Afrikaans or English, and I'm not uncomfortable in any of those languages, that for me is a big win. So I went to Komatipoort Academy from grade, because I went to Kortenes and then up all the way to grade 8, I was in Komatipoort, and then I wanted a bit of change of scenery under different circumstances, and I went to boarding school in Nelspruit. I first went to the King's School, then I moved on and I came back home, and I went to a public school for like a year, and I was like, no. After that, I went back to boarding school again in Nelspruit in a different school, and I completed my matric in CEVAPS, which was hectic but necessary. Gave me growth. And those are some of the mistakes I made that turned out to be good mistakes.
All mistakes are good mistakes.
And I wasn't much of a sports girl. And after I went away from Komatipoort Academy, sports got taken away from me completely. At least at Komati, I was into hockey. I was a goalkeeper. I still don't understand why I was in that position, but I was a goalkeeper for some reason.
Usually the goalkeepers are the fearless ones, and also the people without much skill. I'm joking.
If I decide to stand aside, the whole team loses. So I believe I'm very important in that aspect. So yes, cool. I didn't do much sports, but I focused more on academics.
So Tanya, you're still a baby. There's so much more for you to learn. There's so many things for you to experience. You've got so much life ahead of you. Imagine all the traveling, you as well, Nooms, all the traveling you're going to do and the new places you're going to see. And then, you know what's always nice, things that I look forward to, is if you visit new places. You were recently in the Western Cape. How was that as an experience? I mean, the food, the cuisine, the wines, you've still got all of that. You haven't seen Thailand. You haven't been to Europe or the States. The States is amazing. You're going to love it. The food is very sweet, but and I suggest that you take your own boerewors with, but because they don't have that. But there's so many things still that you guys are going to experience, and Noemsie, you and Adriette, you've got a fantastic life ahead of you. I'm telling you. I'm at that stage now where been there, done that. I just want you guys to have success and my kids to have success. So you'll see when you're my age, that's how your priorities start changing. And you don't want to travel with mommy, because mommy makes you work really, really hard.
Slowly, that's the attachment is sinking in, and starting to see life from your own lens, and you're starting to socialize with different people and having decisions. But it's an uncomfortable experience, but it's a good one, and it's necessary.
Good.
But I heard you mentioning success, and I actually want us to touch a bit on like important factors that have to do with success. What do you guys believe is factors that really play the biggest role in success? Because
Noemsie has mentioned one.
I heard never give up, never never back down.
Consistency.
Oh yes, consistency, definitely.
Do you know what I think? Us growing up, or you guys growing up, I didn't grow up in a small town, but the small town culture is very conducive to success. There's certain things that are ingrained in you guys, like work ethic, self-discipline, honesty. Your intentions must be right. And those are all, and I really don't want to take out the big cities in South Africa, but like New York, for example, when I was there, it just felt like everything was about law and finance. It's all that you saw. It's the Merrill Lynches and all these places. And even that to me was jobs like that manipulate facts. Finance is just numbers on a sheet that's being manipulated. Oh, look who's here. Look who's here. Is that Audrey? And there goes Nims. So I think the small town way of raising their kids and playing outside and stuff is very important. But consistency, self-discipline, and I think another one is that the fact that we believe everything we read, and that society is always right, and that everybody follows the herd mentality, and that's wrong. Don't follow the herd mentality. If you listen to Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett and these guys, the richest guy, one of the richest guys on the planet, is driving a 1982 Toyota Camry. Why? Because he realizes that cars aren't worth anything. Then they also believe that when the tide goes out, you need to come in, and when the tide comes in, you need to go out, which means when everybody's buying stocks, you should be selling, and when everybody's selling stocks, you should be buying, because the herd mentality means everyone's always wrong. Always, Sandy, literally. People put on airs on social media, and they show off their fancy cars and the houses they live in and stuff like that, which is usually a lie. And people give you advice on how to make money and what things to do with your life and how to live your life, and they don't live it themselves. So you've got this influencer that gives you advice about how to make money, but he doesn't run a real business. He's got no brick and mortar store that you can go to and look at his store and his cash register and his Yoko slips and receipts. He tells you he makes money. Can you believe him? Not so sure. Has he rented that car? I'm 100% sure. He takes photos in front of all these private jets and stuff, but does he own them? That's why I literally think, do not worry about what people say or on social media or the news that you read. Those are all distractions. You cannot focus with all this noise. I keep on going on about noise. Yes. And all these distractions in your life. It's just noise. Mute everything. Just go monk mode. If you can go monk mode, you're going to start studying soon, pretty soon, right? You need to go undercover and go monk mode for the next 6 months. Literally take all the distractions out of your life and make a success. This is very important that you make a success of this. And you're going to need time, focus, and energy. And that's how you're going to do it.
Yes. I believe, I was just thinking about it actually recently, and I was like, what if for a minute I just went off and I didn't interact a lot and I didn't socialize with everyone and I didn't let everyone have access to me and just focus, just put in the work in silence, put in the work and just.
Yeah, everybody's so busy. They're playing busy. All these big entrepreneurs have all these staff buzzing around them, and it's like little bees. What are they doing? What are they physically producing? What are they achieving? It's so interesting doing busy work and literally producing something is two majorly different things. And you'll know if you playing work or really working. It's very easy to look busy. I'm not saying you, but you'll know in your heart that today was a good day, today was a win, and I actually did good things. So yeah, that to me, consistency, self-discipline, and do you know what's also really important for success is loving what you do, really loving what you do. And young people, I think, do not know what they want to do because they haven't experienced enough in their lives. But it's actually kind of easy to figure out what you love doing. Go have a look at your YouTube videos, your history. I see what you look at a lot. If you look at sports a lot, that's probably something that you love doing and something that you could make a career of. If you go look at your expenditure, look on your bank account, what are you spending money on? If you're spending money on courses and stuff, you'll figure out what you love doing. And if you can find out what you love doing, then it's going to be easy. Your work's going to be a hobby. And it's something general. So I always loved computers. I always loved working on computers. And I knew that was going to kind of be the direction that I'm going to go in, is technology. But then I also love building things like I always used to have little entrepreneurial endeavors. I would rent out my BMX, or I'd buy like a GI Joe doll and rent that out, or I'd have marbles and get the best player to multiply the marbles during breaks, and he'd bring back a bag of marbles and I'd give him like 10 for all the marbles that he won. So the entrepreneurial thing was important to me, and you guys can figure it out yourselves as well, is by looking at what really, really interests you. And I mean, you're not going to focus in and make that your career, but it's going to be something around it. I know that you were very interested in occupational health. It could be something around that, that you could actually build a career upon. Maybe it's not exactly consulting with people, but yeah. And then also, there's a good book called The War of Art, and it basically sketches every entrepreneur or intrapreneur as an artist. So what you're building in your life is art. You're creating art, and all of us are artists. We just have different canvases.
Definitely. I agree with that, actually, and it makes so much sense. It definitely makes so much sense. I remember actually searching up recently how to just work upon my self-confidence and to up myself a bit. And I remember stumbling upon trying new hobbies, find out what makes you tick, work on your emotions, be self-aware. And I was like, this doesn't really feel like something that has to do with self-confidence. Doesn't feel very much related. Because if I don't have confidence, I probably wouldn't have the time to build a hobby. I probably wouldn't find my interest because I hardly love myself enough, or I hardly feel confident enough in myself. So.
Yeah, it's actually irritating, right? Because that's where everybody's wrong. We talked about it. It's you called it fake it until you make it. I call it herd mentality. So how do you build up your self-confidence? You get a hobby, you socialize more, you go out, you mix and mingle. Come on. You literally have to achieve something to make yourself proud of yourself. Having self-confidence is keeping the promises that you keep to yourself. Keeping those promises. If you promise yourself you're going to wake up at 4 because you need to put in an extra 2 hours of study before work, and you press the snooze button, gone is self-confidence. If you make a promise to yourself that you're actually going to be walking around the block so that you can feel better and get more energy, and you don't do it, that's where you lose self-confidence. You break the promises that you make to yourself. So the very first thing about self-confidence is feeling good about yourself. And the easiest way to feel good about yourself is exercising, literally, exercise. Exercise has a very immediate effect on your mental state, and the hormones that get produced is feel-good hormones, and then actually you see a result in the mirror immediately. Men get pumped, we literally get pumped, and you can see, these 100 push-ups I did actually made a difference. And then secondly, you need to work. Okay, so Alex Hormozi has a saying, the work works more on you than you work on the work. And what he means is the more you do the work, the better you become at the work. And then the work makes you feel good because you're becoming a specialist. When you started doing video editing, you guys weren't good. Now you can't stop. You can't stop because you feel really good about the products that you're producing, and it's good. It's excellent quality. That's how you build self-confidence, is become good at something. And then many times I have conversations with young people that says they feel like they get no respect from anybody. Of course, you're not getting any respect because you haven't achieved anything. You need to achieve something in your life to get respect, and you start with yourself. You achieve by you start with keeping the promises you make to yourself. Wake up early, eat properly, do the exercises, work on the work, learn something, put something positive into your brain. So socializing and getting a hobby is not the way to get more self-confidence. Definitely not.
Definitely. I feel exactly the same way. And actually in one of your the hunter's mindset, you actually spoke about dealing with your trauma. I also feel that is a great approach, because sometimes you don't have the confidence simply because you have so many things that are right in front of you that are blocking your view from what you actually could be, from your goodness, from how much of a great person you actually are, because of things that you had no control over, or let's say you did have control, but you didn't at that time know you had control. I also feel maybe dealing with your traumas could actually help a lot, facing those past experiences and everything that has gone wrong, just working through it.
Enough said, Nims. Sandy, you said it all. I mean, what I can't say anything more. You 100% right. And if you want to add to that, Nims, but you need to place those things, which is very difficult to do. Really, really difficult to do.
Takes a lot of
that takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of work. And many of us aren't willing to do that work. It's actually getting divergence between your past and your current inner child. It sounds very freaky and weird now. But what did Carl Jung say? Your unconscious will... Let me get my book. I have it written in front of my book. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. You need to make the unconscious conscious, bring it up. And otherwise, it's going to rule your life and you're going to think, this is my destiny, this is where I'm going. And it doesn't need to be like that. Hunter's Mindset, good episode on that. Tans, you said you want to watch it another time. The reason why?
I believe it's something you can continue going back to really revisit how far you've come, and also to just, because dealing with trauma it's not going to happen overnight. I believe it's not going to happen overnight. And the same way that you can feel like, I've dealt with that, I've went to therapy, and then 3 months down the line, you find yourself going through this huge depression or just going downhill and you don't understand what's wrong. The truth is you really haven't dealt much. You haven't really sat down and dealt with that trauma. And
but you know what, Tans, I mean, let's just be careful because it's a lot like visualization. Because, if you visualize your future and you visualize the car you're going to drive and the house you're going to live in, etc., you make that a reality. Literally, I dealt with my past issues 3 times. That's it. I'm not going to go back there. I feel I've dealt with it. I've done enough work. It's very painful for me to go back because I don't want to fixate on it. I don't want to, it's a past memory. It's done. I've dealt with it. I'm happy. Maybe someday I'll have another roadblock and I can see my consistency is not as good as it should be. Then I'd probably have to go back. I'm not going to go over and over and over.
Yeah.
One thing I've...
Courage. Because you end up making your happy place. You end up staying there and you end up feeling like the whole world is wrong and everyone has wronged you and nobody's deserving and you're not deserving of anything, of everything. So it becomes a huge mess, honestly.
Memories actually can become a reality, if you just go back to them the whole time. That's why I literally feel I've heard some guys like who was the famous guy? Arnold Schwarzenegger actually said that he meditated once, he dealt with the trauma that he lived through once, and he's never going back. He's finished, done. And he said it just changed his life in 180 degrees, and he's dealt with it, he's not going back. So men are probably maybe a bit different. We're not emotionally that strong. We can't deal with the emotions that well. Maybe ladies are built different. I'm not sure. I'm just looking at it from my perspective. That something I never want to ever remember again. Been there, done that, dealt with it, diverged, finished.
I think it's also the people you hang around with when it comes to things like this, because you tell yourself, I'm done with this trauma. I don't want to, then that one person pitch up again to your life, and then you put yourself back again to where you were before.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. And I actually just I excluded them from my life.
Just them when you see them. No more words, more to exchange.
Nope. Hi, how are you? Bye. That's it. Come for a bright. Nope. Thank you. Very busy. I'm busy. Thank you.
Meanwhile, you know you're not going to be busy.
Fine.
With earphones, if I see this person is going to stop me, put earphones in. Nah. There I walk. Hello. La, singing louder, but then there's nothing playing.
Thank you. Good advice. I'll try that. Very good advice. No, I literally do not need to associate with them. I do not need to go back. I do not need to remember. So not doing it. Hello, mommy.
I believe we're on a crunch for time, so I think we should.
Yeah. Cool.
It's been a great episode.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Thank you for telling us more about yourselves, and I hope you're going to find out more in future podcasts as well.
Yes, and also just remind people to just join the tribe as well, and also just go to techCONNECT Africa if you want to know more about the company side and Wi-Fi and internet. Everything is there for you. Or go to ineedinternet.co.za where you can actually close all myths about any internet service provider before you get yourself in trouble. And also, I want our clients to just join our tribe. There's so much to learn. There's so much to learn there. And I invite them to actually watch The Hunter's Mindset. It is going to help so much.
It's on members.techCONNECT.Africa. Members.techCONNECT.Africa. So, and then just one last thing. Niku won his league. His rugby team won the league. So well done to him. Okay, guys. Enjoy the evening and chat tomorrow. Love you guys.
Bye.
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 Bye, guys.